All right, then we're almost done building our app, and the only thing left now is to build the payment gateway to accept payment for the items in the cart. So to actually do this, we're going to be doing this from the back end. We're going to be integrating the payment from the back end. And the reason why I'm doing this is I don't trust the front end to handle payments. The front end can easily be manipulated by anyone that has the front end skills. So it's always good to handle your payment from the back end. So how we're going to do this is any item that is within the user's cart and the user click pay, make payment, we're going to send the items ID, like the product ID, we're going to send it to the backend. The backend is going to go into the database, select the product, get their prices, and do the calculation, then initiate a payment gateway with Stripe. So it sends the product to Stripe, it generates a payment link, and the payment link will send it back as a response to the front end. Then we redirect the user using the payment link. Okay, user will make the payment. Then this triggers an event on the back end, and we can then redirect the user to a success page or an error page, or um, you just render the error. Probably the card got declined or the payment is not successful. You can render the error to the user. So let's just start doing this. And the first thing we need to do is to create an endpoint that will accept payment. Okay, the endpoint is going to accept payment. So let's go into our backend. Remember, I told you then that we're not done building our backend. We still need to make the payment. So let's go into our APIs. And right here, we need to actually make that endpoint. So I'm going to make an endpoint, but before then, we need to make a controller. So I'm going to open up my terminal, and we're going to create a payment controller that we just handle all our payments. And you can do this within the product controller or the category controller, but I just love to keep things separate. Okay. All right. So we created that. So let's just go ahead and you can see the controller has been created. So let's go back to our API and just create the route. Okay. So I'm going to use a route group because at the end of the day, you might want to add more routes to your payment stuff. So it's just good to like group everything together. Okay. So I'm just going to say route group, and right here we're going to give it a prefix of payment. Okay, and I think that's all, and we have a callback function right here. And yeah, okay, so we're going to put our routes within this, and the first route that we need to create, probably the first and last route for this tutorial, is that we want to have like a forward slash, and this will be a post request, and right here we want to use the payment controller. Okay, we want to use the payment controller, and this will be class, and right here this will be make payment. Okay, this will be the method name, which is make payment. Okay, so we have this endpoint right now, so let's just go ahead and create this. So let me just bring this in, and this will be payment controller. Okay, you can see that. So let's just go into our payment controller and just create the method real quick. All right, so for this, let's just go ahead and create a public method. So this will be public function, and this will be make payment. All right, so the first thing we need to do is to validate this method. And what I mean by this is we need to validate the request data, like the request payload that is coming into this. So we're going to make a request, and in the request payload, we're going to like specify the kind of data that we're actually expecting. So let's go into our request just like we did for the category. So call this we're going to do the same thing right here. So let me just do Control Shift S to actually save us, and this will be make payment request. Okay, so make payment request, and let's just copy that because we need to actually change some things right here. So Let's just give that, let that create. All right, so this is it, and right here we just need to make some changes right here. Yeah, we need to change the class name, and we also need to like change some things. So right here we need to actually specify that we need validate the product IDs. So we need to send the list of ID of the product within the cart to the user, and this will be required, and this will also be an array. Okay, and this will also be an array, and yeah, so that's it. And the next thing we need to do is we need to actually um just create some custom validation, some custom validation messages. Okay, so let's just say product dot require, and this will be the let's just get that right, the product IDs are required. Okay, that's good. And the next one is it has to be an array. So let's just do the same thing, and this will be array. And right here we're just going to say the product IDs must be an array. Okay, so simple as that. We have that right now, and we can just do away with this. Yeah, we don't actually need all this anymore. And basically this is all we need to do. So let's just go ahead and use that uh, payment request that we just created. Let's just go back into our payment controller and just bring that in. So this will be payment request, and this will be $sign request. Okay, um yeah, so everything works fine. So if you just return $sign request and just do all, so if we test this out now, you're going to see what I'm talking about. So let's just go ahead and test that out. So right here we're going to add a request, and the request will actually be make payment, and it's going to be a post request. So this will be make payment, and right here this is going to just be a post request. And yeah, so just like every other um, stuff, so we're just going to say payment. Okay, we don't actually need all this because we didn't actually specify that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start our server. So I just want to start the backend alone. So if you notice, I just want to start the backend alone, so I'm going to use this command right here. So let's just say yarn, and this will be, yeah, start backend. Okay, so that is just going to run our backend for us real quick. And yeah, all right, so we have our backend running, and let's just try that again. Let's see that we should get some validation errors. We're getting a 500 which says class make payment does not exist. Yeah, that's true. And the reason for that is we still need to like import this class, because we're not actually using it, we're just typing it. We still need to like bring it into the app. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick. I'm just going to follow the namespacing because this is not giving me autocomplete. So this will be HTTP, and this will be request. Okay, request. This is actually HTTP, not HTTP. So HTTP, and this will be request. Yeah, so request, and this will be make payment. Okay, so simple as that. And let's just go ahead and see that again. So let's send this and see. Yeah, so product IDs are actually required. So within our body here, let's just add some product IDs. So this is going to actually be a JSON, and let's just do something simple, and this will be product IDs. Okay, and this will actually be an array because we actually specify it to be array. So let's just say we want one, two, this is actually one comma two, comma three. So we're sending the product ID of one, two, three. So three products, and let's just see that, and you can see our response right here, okay? Because we actually return back the request. So the next thing we need to do before we actually end this video is to actually make some calculations and get the total price for the three products, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is, let's just be logical here. Let's just be logical here, because this is actually logical. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get the products that actually owns the ID. That actually owns the ID. So we're going to say dollar sign products. Okay, it's going to be products, the product model. Okay, so we're going to say where in. Okay, so this is like a method that you can use to like just get bunch of collections from the database. So this will be request, and this will be product underscore this. Okay, so when we get that, we actually want to get everything. Okay, we actually want to get everything, and if I should return dollar sign products to the user, and one more thing, we need to actually import that. So this will be use app, and this will be slash models, and this will be slash product. Okay, so let's just try that now and see. And if I should click send right here, this should give me the product that actually owns that ID. All right, so yeah, so we need to actually start our DB. Okay, we've started that, and let's just send that again. Yeah, so you can see the products right here. So you can see the ID 1, 2, and 3. So if I should enter any ID, it's going to fetch the product with the ID. Okay, so this is an ID with a product with an ID of 12, and you can see 12 right here. So you can see the price. So we're actually going for the price. We actually want to target the price and do a little bit of calculations for them. So right here we're going to say dollar sign line items. Okay, so those are the items that the user wants to do, and we're going to perform a very simple for each loop on each of those uh, products, and actually get the total price. And the reason why I'm doing it for each loop is we can just use some simple method like the sum method in the calculation and get the total price, but I want to send each of these products to Stripe. Okay, if you notice in the intro video, you can see each of those products and the total price. I want to send everything to Stripe so that Stripe can actually display them on the website. Okay, so simple as that. So we're going to do for each. Okay, we're going to do it for each loop. All right, so for each product as product, we don't actually need all this. So for each products as product, and one thing we can do is go into our code, the block right here, and we just say dollar sign price in cents. Okay, we actually need to convert the price into cents. Okay, this will be dollar sign products, and this will be price multiplied by 100. Okay, so each of those price we are multiplying them by 100 for the product. Okay, so convert price to cents. So this is just like to give you an hint of what's actually going on right there. So the next thing we need to do is we need to we already have the price in cents now, so we need to actually line each of those products. So this will be line items. Remember, we set this to be an empty array, so we need to actually fill the array with some values right now. So this will also be an array, and we need to actually start pushing our items into that. Okay, So this will be price data. This will also be like an array. So this is like a um, multi-dimension array right now. So the first thing is currency, and the currency is going to be in USD. That is the US dollar. And the next thing is going to be unit amount. Okay, so that would be the price for each of those items. Okay, so this will be price in cents. Remember, we've already convert everything. So the next thing will be product underscore data. Okay, so I'm just formatting this in the way that Stripe API is going to understand. Stripe is going to understand. So that's why I had to do it for each loop. I didn't just do everything on a raw query and just get the total price. So we need to actually format this in a way that Stripe will actually understand. So the next thing we need to do is we can just say name of the product. Okay. So the name of the product, these are what the data that we send into Stripe, and this will be product name. Okay. And the next thing is we going to have a description. Okay. Yeah, we got the spelling correct. And this will be dollar sign product, and this will be description. Okay, and I think that's all. Yeah, so that's all. And the next thing we could do is let's just make sure everything is. We can do quantity. Okay, so we can do quantity, and what this basically means is we're just sending one item each. Remember, in our checkout, we're doing you can only add an item to um your cart. Okay, so if you're adding multiple items to your cart, like the quantity of items in your cart is increasing, you can just put the quantity right there, and the quantity will be part of the request payload that is coming in. Okay, so simple as that, and I think we need to end this line right here. All right, so let's just go ahead and return this, and let's just see. Let's just return. So let's send that and see our data now. So you can see how we've actually format our products, and this what we're going to be sending to Stripe. So Stripe can now do some their calculation and get the total product, okay, and get the total price. So yeah, so that's it for this video. And in the next video, we're going to be generating a payment link and installing Stripe to our app, and yeah, so we can get started with that. So I'll see you in the next video, guys.